Welcome in, everyone. My name is LynnCarius, Junkyard Dave. Thanks for having me for this wonderful event. My game that I am demonstrating here is Dreamin Davey for NES. This is a game that was part of the Big 20 for the Spring Big 20 this year, and a lot has been routed and rediscovered for it. So I'm going to demonstrate a lot about what's been going on and changes for it while doing a run. Hopefully everything goes well. There are potential soft locks and occasional oopsies, but not too often anymore. Anyhow, let's get a reset in and get this show on the road. One of the few Nintendo titles with some voice options on it. So let's go. 3, 2, 1, and start. One of the things that was discovered is this knight dropping a fireball. Ideally, we get him before we trigger a dialogue, and the gnome not blocking the plants that we throw at him. I'm still going to grab the original route safety sword, because just in case the new strat fails, we have an out for it. So we're going to go grab the sword. Each dreaming area that Davey has has the same 3 maps per era. There's the medieval era, there's the Wild West era, and then there's the Greece era. Everything on these maps are the same, so we're going to have our sword here. Later we're going to come down here for the hook shot that we must grab. The sword is now optional with this fireball strat. Not grabbing the sword does shave out close to a minute and a half, I think. But again, it's not a guarantee if we don't hit the right frame for when we're spamming the fireball throw. Because apparently, while we have an item in our inventory, even if we don't have any, there's a small window to spam it like we did have a bunch of them. This is a game that I've greatly enjoyed since trying it for the Big 20. It was one of the games that stood out to me because I was there for Life Force and Jurassic Park. This one just tickled my fancy of, yes, I must play this. Yes, I must speedrun it. And seeing how it developed post Big 20 season has been a wild ride. So now we're going to equip this, wait for the sword to go up, and spam. We got this trick. So now we are routing some dynamite for the second trip to this area. One thing we have to do is not hit a directional when we go into the screen, otherwise our cacti are different spawns. Hopefully we get some dynamite drops. We did not. There is a clock here that will pause enemies and let us speed up a little bit. That is a safety dynamite. It's always there. We don't have to worry about trying to hunt down more. Some of these guys will drop some dynamite for us. Not always. There is some workarounds around it. We can buy more root beer. We have to talk to the Western Union. I got a double entry there. No big deal. The root beer we can go over here to sell for $5. And all the gold and the rattlesnake stuff that we got. Since I don't have enough dynamite, I'm going to go ahead and grab a second one. We don't get a extra cutscene there, but all we have to do is walk up to the door and then go in again. Now we have an extra $5, which should be plenty of money to get enough shotgun shells to cover the lack of 1 dynamite. So flashing screen warning here. Every time we go into these, it's going to be a little shootout that we have to shoot their gun to pass that section. As we go to the Wild West, we have to do that an additional time based on each time we've gone there. So the next time will be 2 plus the bank robber scene, and then the final one is going to be another bank robber scene and 3 of them. So what we're going to do here is a little dialogue skip on the bridge. We want to pray we get past him. He's one of the most dangerous enemies in this game. Just sits there spamming his spear the closer you get. So this one is remarkably easy if you're on the left side. If you're on the right side, you're gonna get hit. And there's our butt. So now we gotta backtrack and collect a ring that'll let us go through a tunnel to collect the Excalibur, which in Davey's actual reality is the teacher's ruler. It's half the time Davey's battling, the bullies from his school, or in the case of the Cyclops that we just fought, was a girl with glasses for some reason. This is another cutscene skip, so we can get a quick stopwatch to help us speed up. I'm going to stab this ring just so I guarantee the pickup. There's going to be a flashing light here because we're going to take a death warp. We are only allowed 1 death in the speedrun. This saves close to 15 to 20 seconds overall. This brings us right back to the beginning, but we have the ring. So now we can backtrack and come and pick up Excalibur. Now we're back in Greece. We need the token from stabbing the trees, and we'll grab that stop clock, or the sundial, while we're there to stop the enemies and get out of there quicker. Now we are in Hades, or visiting Hades rather. One of the strats that was discovered during August, while myself and several others from the Speedrun Friendly League partook in running this game, is by grabbing that little figurine on that route, we're able to use it to almost guarantee entry into one of the hardest doors to actually trigger, which has greatly increased the amount of runs we were able to accomplish. It takes about a half a second to go over to it and select it in the menu, so it's not a huge time loss. Now, anytime we jump, these skeletons like to move up, otherwise they just love to body block us, as you're seeing now. Come on, let me through. There we go. So this is where this figurine comes in handy. Yes, I'm taking some damage. This door, we already have to go in there to select the spear for the Cerberus fight. Wiggle down a little bit so we can bypass that skeleton. But using that figurine there lets us go past and get into that door. Because when there's an enemy on top of us while we're at a door, we can't go in. Old school glitch here. Go all the way up to the top. Just enter the menu and you're able to get into it again. Like go up a little bit more. Now we're in line to just spear the Cerberus. Oops. So now we are going to the next area instead of just this map for the medieval times. This time we're going to be facing, instead of Lumper, like we saw in the first one, we're going to face Sir Lumpus on a snowy bridge, because he is blocking Davey's locker so he can get his lunchbox. So we just take this little side path here because, you know, path of least resistance, we don't gotta wiggle past and avoid enemies as much. And now we have pretty much a straight shot around, very minimal movement. Just a wiggle here and then a slight wiggle back to not hit the bushes there. There is a tiny little bit right here. This should be the right spot where I can just walk right past them and get behind them. Otherwise, we just got to wait a little bit and we can still jump behind them. So we have to hold our jump to get a bunch of hits in on him and melt his health. Don't let that guy touch you. It'll be a little bit of a pain continuing on. This is a major change in the routing. We are halfway through, and now we just collected a free shotgun. This shotgun will be used in the bank shootouts coming up. I was just seeing if maybe that guy would drop an extra stick of dynamite, nullifying my need to buying more ammo. So dynamite does 3 bits of damage, whereas the shotgun does 1, and each of these require 5. We just had a handful of those guys to deal with, and now we are at the bank robber scene. Okay, that's one of the hardest points in the game to get through, because the RNG on the dynamite drops is no guarantees. Free shotgun, yep. So now we want to make sure we don't get robbed by the blue hat guy. And of course this one drops a dynamite. Too late for that, thank you. Now we're going to reload on all of our shotgun ammo for the final trip and have a double batch on the blacksmith. We want to make sure we don't miss more than once on the shootout. And now we're at one of the last grease ones. We have a trio of Medusas to get through because we are on a mission from Zeus to collect the Medusa's head, and he will give us access to Pandora's box. Spoiler alert, Pandora's box is Davey's lunchbox. Oops. So what we need to do to be able to access them and collect the Medusa's head safely is we need the winged shoes, which will let us cross a bridge or cross a gap on the river. This magic sack, which will keep us from turning to stone from collecting the Medusa's head. And then a magic shield, which can reflect their stony gaze or any projectile thrown at us, which will be much more useful after the Medusa's to reflect said projectiles. So remember that bridge guy that I was talking about that just melts your HP because he just constantly throws spears at you? Yeah, we're going to see about 9 of them. And that's the only way to get past them. Here's our powered up shield that we get. We're going to ride this way down while we're keeping the harpy on the screen. Then we wiggle when the next one comes on. Probably getting that second one soon. They tend to show up in pairs. But you can only have 2 different enemies on the screen at a time, which is lovely when you're trying to take a little bit of damage, keeping one enemy that's constantly going through. Alright. If we can get these Medusas to cooperate and not try and shoot their arrows at the same time I'm trying to stab them with a spear, that's when they melt from, again, holding our jump input of A and B. Here's our final one. This one has a little bit more HP. Cooperate, please. Ah! Crap. I will have to redo that area again. Streamer's curse, always saying, hey, this isn't going to be a problem, and then, hey, it does. Alright, so we have the basic shield from before that we did not pick up. The inventory changes when we have to take a password continue. So I don't know what my routing is going to be for Wild West now because the inventory will have changed off the password start. But we'll make it work. Now we gotta recollect the items again. Sometimes they just don't want to take the hitboxes, or take the hits when you're doing the spear jumps. And then when they go back in their hit areas, it's incredibly hard to get them. So let me run past this area again. One of the nice things about this game is actually the soundtracks are... The music's not bad at all. It's actually been quite fun to listen to this even as much as I've been through it. Alright. You don't want to get too close because then you are not able to hit them. Not again. Come on. Really? Game, you like this? Alright, we gotta continue from here at least. There we go. Finally passed it. One more panic moment. Do not mash B while you're in that menu. So making sure that we have the right shield up. These are the shield guys we have to deflect back their spears to. This one loves to eat your inputs if you're too quick on the shield press. But after getting used to the timing, it makes it a lot easier and fairly simple. Alright, we're going to go ahead and pop our safety health here. We did take quite a few hits. Davey doesn't always like to pick up his shoes either. You know, like many kids his age. Just leaves them laying around on the floor. Alright, here's our final one of these guys. Now we're gonna go get Davey's lunchbox. And the question is, do we open it? Yes. Why? Because it's full of flies. Unfortunately, I mashed past this cutscene. I was not trying to, but I ended up doing so. So now we have to go collect the hook shot. There's only 2 more areas, this one and the final Wild West. We are going to be facing a dragon at the end of this one. There is a small chance of softlock at the bridge here where the hook shot is used. I will do my best to avoid the conditions of it, but there is no guarantee. Apparently I want to take the longer way around. So we got to go all the way back through to the bridge where we face Sir Lumpus. And then we're going to make our way through a quasi Tartarus area again, or Hell area. Whatever, I think it was Hades. I don't know. I don't really recall what they call it in the game, but it's not quite Hell, but it's definitely a similar area to the one from Greece. Trying to get these enemies out of our way so we can just run past them rather than having to jump over them. Stop confusing lunch boxes with your pooping boxes. I strangely remember that day. Alright. Making sure those guys are off the screen because they can cause us offlock. And then pausing a brief second before starting the hook shot. So we managed to get past the major softlock area. There are pitfalls in this area that we are walking across here to avoid. Then right here we drop down partway to collect both of those. We're going to need that fireball later. Jump twice and then jump a third time to collect this key. Okay, we don't want to throw a fireball. We want to collect this as an extra just in case. Now there is a boss skip I'm going to attempt. It is a frame perfect trick, very hard to execute and get our stuff ready. So I'm going to be pausing. I may have got it. Nope, did not. Now we wait for him to jump and move his shield and fireball away. Drop down, flashing lights. Do not press start on that screen until you are out of that page, because otherwise you will have to redo that dragon fight. It's not hard, but it's something that happens. I should check my ammo. I have nowhere near close enough to enough ammo, so I'm going to have to stop by and grab more ammo after I get this key. Okay, I do have both pistols. That should be plenty. Way more than necessary, but we'll make do with the 50 bucks that we were given. So now we got to go through these rabbit holes and avoid one later. Hey, look, we're back in hell. Even Hades is confused by us being here. We gotta move this guy from being in the dirt. Don't hold up or you'll fall down a rabbit hole. So now we've got one more fight here. Where did they go? That was awkward. I hadn't even approached them yet, and they were already off there. Alright, we got 3 more of those. Hopefully I don't mess up the input and get my cursor over to that corner again. 3 times in a row. 1, 2, and the final one. There we go. That would be time. Sorry about the extra time on that. Was not expecting to lose at the Medusas. I didn't get the full cutscene. Apparently Start skips it for us. Alright. Thank you for the time, and Dave, thanks again for the opportunity to be in here, and seriously, this is a wonderful cause to be a part of. Anything that can help others is a wonderful thing. Take care, y'all. I will definitely be around somewhere, lurking on Twitch.
I'm out of here.
I will